Hi, this is Matt Benedict back with a short video. Today's talk is about driving with an interlock device in your car. I am a driver's license restoration attorney as well as a criminal law attorney. Number one, read your opinion. Within your opinion, you should have instructions for what the driver should do in the event that there's a problem with the interlock device in the car. Now, problems can be missed rolling retest or hot blows and the like. It's important for the client to follow the instructions given by the state for violations or problems with your interlock device. I've had at least one client that was burned because he listened to the installer instead of following what was required of him in the order. Essentially, my advice to all my clients is if there's a problem of any sorts, be proactive. Try to get a PBT test from a police officer within an hour, or find a facility and take an ETG test for alcohol. Number three, check your automobile battery health. One of the violations is called circumvention, and that's often triggered by a failing or faulty car battery. It might be worth the client's while to take a look at the battery health and, if need be, purchase a new battery before they install the interlock device in their car. The testing regimen and sanctions may be unfair. So when there's an interlock device installed in a car, there's an initial startup blow. Approximately 15 minutes after that, or within 15 minutes after that, there's supposed to be what is called a rolling retest. And this rolling retest is where the driver actually blows into the interlock device for a test while the car is moving. It seems like a lot of people miss this rolling retest. Either they step out of the car with the car running, or there's some other distraction. When this happens, there will be recorded a violation for not taking your rolling retest. This can be very upsetting and frustrating for the client because they typically have a startup blow, which blows zeros. They have maybe one rolling retest that indicates that there's been no alcohol consumption. Then there's a miss. Then there's another blow subsequent to that. Really, the violation is surrounded by clean blows. But that's the thing, the client's still being violated. So it's better to just accept your fate. You have to drive by their rules and make sure you don't break any of them. Number five, accidental false positives are a real concern. Put a link to a video that I think is very informative. It's a couple of lawyers that are eating various foods and then taking a PBT test. And you can see that a lot of foods will trigger a positive PBT. So it's important to be very structured and disciplined when you have an interlock installed in your automobile. You really shouldn't eat while you're driving or eat 30 minutes prior to starting up the automobile. The worst thing that a client can do with an interlock device installed in their car is fail an initial startup blow. Maybe they had the wrong food for breakfast, then neglect to take the secondary test, which usually comes 5 minutes after the hot blow. The single worst thing you could do is have a hot initial startup blow and then ignore the subsequent testing blow. When this happens, almost everyone presumes that the person was drinking alcohol the night prior. They realize they're caught and then they panic and will not take the retest. Number five, never leave the automobile unattended. If it's winter and you want to warm up your automobile with an interlock device, I recommend you sit in the car and warm it up. The rolling retests, they come at random times, so if a client were to pull up to a store, leave the car running, step into the store, make a purchase, and then come back out, there's certainly plenty of time for a rolling retest to be initiated and for the client to miss the test. Always sit in the driver's seat while testing. Modern interlock devices have a camera. This camera will take a snapshot of the person performing the test. Now, these cameras are positioned so that they can see the driver while they're in the driver's seat. I have had a client that left his car running, stepped out of the car, heard the alarm going off for a rolling retest blow, but instead of sitting in the driver's seat, he opened the passenger door and reached in, grabbed the unit, and made a blow. Well, that resulted in a good blow with nobody in frame for the picture, and he was charged with circumventing. The circumvention in this case potentially could be using a blower of some sorts to falsify a test. Number 10, simultaneous actions. I've had clients that swear to me that the rolling retest alarm has not gone off, did not go off at all. Now, I was able to narrow this down to when the client simultaneously shuts off the car and there is a rolling retest initiated. So for my client, what happened here was he shut off the car, he stepped out of the car, and didn't realize that the rolling retest had been initiated, and he subsequently missed the rolling retest. So a way to prevent this problem is for the driver to sit within the automobile after they shut the car off and examine the interlock device. Now the interlock device should shut down after 3 minutes.